What's going on, everyone, from LowKick MMA? My name is Dan Podolsky. I'm joined with Josh Fremd. He is fresh off his win over Jamie Pickett and already set to return on September 16th when he faces Roman Kopylov. Josh, thank you so much for taking the time. Of
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
course, and just first off, short notice, super quick turnaround. How important was it for you to get a fight quickly after your last performance? And how are you preparing for this fight?
Honestly, for me, I love this entire situation. Just not even really having a full week off. I took some days off, did a lot of recovery, ate really well, and then got right back into the gym. And I enjoy it because I don't feel like I missed a step. I felt like it was a good warm up, if you will, for the next step up in competition. So I'm excited for it.
Mhm. Have you gotten to watch any of the previous footage on Kopylov, and what do you think gives you the advantage over him?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched him since he got in the UFC. I'm a big nerd of the UFC, so I've been watching my entire life. But yeah, I think that he has a very strong rear side attacks. I think he's quick. That's about it. That's about it.
And do you feel so like you're an underdog for this fight? He's obviously coming off this like big KO head kick win. Do you feel like you're maybe getting overlooked a little bit heading into this matchup?
Yes, 100%. Keep doing it. Keep looking over me because I like it better. I was a huge favorite, not a huge favorite, but I was a favorite in the Jamie Pickett fight. And I kind of didn't like that, just because it was a lot of pressure of like comparing myself to the opponents that he fought. Like, oh, if I don't get a finish, then this, that, the other. So I like being the underdog. I like people not really giving me a chance. That way I can just focus on myself and go after the task at hand.
And looking at the Cedric Dumas fight, it was the same situation. You were a big underdog in that fight. He had a lot of hype coming out the contender series, and you shut him down that fight.
Yeah, people don't know what they don't know, and it's up to me to show them what they don't know.
And you feel like you got off to an 0-2 start in the UFC, but since then you've won your last two fights. Like, A, what's allowed you to kind of take that next step up? And do you feel like because of that, you're always going to be overlooked a little bit, just like starting at 0-2 in the UFC, even if
Yeah,
since then it's like you've gone on a roll?
yeah. I mean, this is going to be a turning point here. This is going to be, just like Roman. Roman started off 0-2. He's now on a three-fight win streak. All of them, I believe, are TKOs. But I'm in the same position. I started out 0-2. Um, Bounced back. Now I'm 2-0 in 2023. I'm looking to go 3-0 in 2023 and have a big bounce back year. And then that's what I said. I said from the moment I got choked out my second fight, it was okay, get back to 500, then we're gonna go on a roll. This is the start of that roll.
If all goes well and you beat Kopylov, that put you at 3-0 in a calendar year. Are you hoping to get a fourth fight this year? And just looking at, let's say, the end of 2024, what are your long-term goals in MMA?
If I get out of this fight healthy, if like I did the last fight, then yeah, I would love to get one more in. I'm Man, this is my window. Like everyone talks about like getting there, getting there. All right, well now it's my time. Now I gotta take advantage of these opportunities. I want to make money. Like I'm not doing this just for the hell of it anymore. Like I want to make money doing this. So if I get out healthy and I can get a fourth one in, let's do it.
And you talk about you've taken a lot of short notice fights. Is that something you kind of take pride in? Is like not turning down any opponents, sort of like the Cowboy Cerrone mentality of just I'll fight whoever.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to fight people who are really, really good anyway. And you're here, so you're really good too. So let's go after it. And the better they are, honestly, it's the better that you're going to train because if there's anything that makes you nervous about them, you're going to train 10 times harder.
In comparative to your last three fights where you're at the Apex, this time you're back in front of the crowds, packed out T-Mobile Stadium. How excited are you for that to finally be back in front of the crowd?
I'm hype. My fight against Cedric was in the Virgin Hotels,
That's
but
right.
that it's a crowd, but it's not an arena. So to be able to go into an arena again, like I did my very first MMA fight, my first UFC fight, I'm pumped, dude. It's like a big redemption tour for me. I lost in the Apex. I needed to get that one back. I got to win in the Apex. I lost in an arena against Hernandez and this is my redemption. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to put on a show for the crowd.
And looking at your fight card, massive card, ESPN Noche, main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso, the rematch. Who do you have in that fight?
Ooh, you can never go wrong picking with the bullet. I just fear that she might be, Father Time just always wins, and it's nothing against her. I'm gonna go with bullet. I'm gonna just all right, bullet. Let's go.
Fair enough. And then looking at your division, obviously the big title fight this weekend, Izzy versus Sean Strickland. Who are you taking in that fight?
If Sean Strickland wins the title, I will go jump off a bridge the very next day. Record that, put it up. I don't care. Izzy is winning that belt. He's keeping that belt. Dear God, please don't let Sean Strickland win that belt.
Have you gotten to train at all with Strickland? Because he seems pretty crazy in training.
No, I've never met the guy, never any of that. I think he'll put our sport back 20 some years. He's not really who you want flagshipping the MMA crew because people already think we're degenerates who knuckle draggers who aren't smart and intelligent anymore. It's a complete opposite. So you don't want someone like that in the face of our division, the face of the UFC doing that.
Fair enough. And then, looking at your career, you finished 8 of your 11 wins, 4 KOs, 4 sets, very well-rounded fighter. Is there one part of your game that you feel like this is sort of my go-to? This is where I'm at my strongest.
I would love to say my striking, but I haven't shown that in the UFC just yet. I felt like I've resorted to a lot of wrestling. Because I did grow up wrestling. I wrestled all my life, so it is something that I do love. But I would say my boxing, honestly, I want to show that off this fight a lot just because everyone says how good of a striker Roman is. And I haven't got to show my skill set yet on the feet. So I'm excited to go out and do that.
And let me ask you too, because you mentioned, being a nerd of the UFC, as you called it. I can tell from talking to you, you really know your stuff about the UFC. You aren't just a fighter, you're a fighter and an analyst. Is that something you could see yourself going into in the future, sort of the analyst side of being a fighter?
Yeah, I thought about it. I do think about it too. I do commentary for fights. I run a radio show with a teammate of mine, and it's something that I could see myself doing. I'm just not 100% sold on putting my face in front of cameras, after I'm done fighting.
Fair enough. And then, so you're training down at Factory X in Colorado. How has that training been going for this camp, and who have been your main partners?
Oh man, it's been awesome. Main partners, I got the crew again. We got Cody Brundage, Austin Jones. We got AJ Fletcher. He's been a fun addition to the team coming up from Louisiana. Dustin Jacoby, Rob Wilkinson, Anthony Smith just fought, so I trained with him before both of our fights, but he just had an awesome win, so hasn't been in back. But yeah, just the regular crew, just getting after it every day.
And when a teammate like Anthony Smith wins, coming off a big win over Ryan Spann, what does that do to kind of the morale of the gym? And what does that do for you, seeing one of your teammates who you trained with get a win, to kind of pick you up and say, you know what, if he's getting the win, I need to just keep picking it up for my team?
Yeah, momentum is a crazy thing. And Anthony being the leader that he is, Dustin Jacoby being the leader that he is, them going out there and putting on the performances that they did just inspires the whole team. And it's a little quiet secret, but Factory X went for everyone in the UFC and our local and regional guys. Like Factory X has went undefeated in September. We have a bunch of guys fighting this week and next week. So it's just, we're all feeding off the momentum. Like it's just a fun culture. Everyone's pushing each other to get better. People who go win fights and then they're back in the gym a week or two later, like they don't take extended breaks because we're all working towards the same goal.
And you mentioned all the fighters who are coming off wins from your gym, and that includes yourself. You just fought 3 weeks ago. How much of a difference does it make having a full camp versus, taking a fight on short notice immediately after your last fight?
Honestly, I like short notice fights. Short notice as in like 2 weeks, a week, that's cool. Because you don't think about it. And if you stay the way that we do this out here in Colorado, we're in shape all the time. There is no, oh, I'm going to take 3 to 4 months off, get fat, and then take 2 months to get back into shape. Like it's a year-round thing out here. So a famous philosopher, you probably might know him, T.I., he once said, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So, that's what we do. And I like short notice fights because you just don't think about it. You go fight.
Fair enough. And then I do have to ask, because you missed weight in the last fight. Where's the weight at for this fight? And is that something that is that part of the reason why you're taking a fight so quickly after the last one, is to kind of prove like the weight is not an issue for me? That was a one-time thing.
I'm taking this fight for a multitude of reasons. But I do love the fact that I can go back and, man, I hope maybe my coach will let me do it. I can stand on the scale eating a slice of pizza while making weight just to show people that it was a fluke. But my weight is great. After practice today, I stepped on the scale. I'm sitting money. I got a whole new nutritionist. So we're getting after it. We're doing the right things, and I can't wait to make weight and smile.
Fair enough. And obviously 185 is your home. Could you see yourself moving up to 205 in the future?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I haven't hit it yet, but I do think that there's going to come a point where I need to move up just because I don't want to destroy my body the rest of my life, and I want to feel good. And Dustin Jacoby's a perfect example of moving up and just being healthy at your weight and, not have to cut a ton of weight. You go out there and you perform like you do in the gym.
Yeah, and you mentioned Anthony Smith too, is the other guys they get.
And Anthony Smith as well, yeah.
He started at 85, and he was great at 85, but then once he went up to 205, that's when he became a title contender.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's my journey. We'll see. But if it is, I got perfect people showing me the way.
Well, Josh, I'm wishing you the best of luck. Thanks so much for taking the time. And just my final question, September 16th, Roman Kopylov, Josh Fremd. Josh, give me your official prediction.
Josh Fremd gets his hand raised by a finish. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm not leaving that cage without it.
Fair enough. Josh, thank you so much for taking the time. If you have any socials or teammates you want to shout out, here's your chance.
Big shout out to all my teammates who are blowing me up right now while I'm in the middle of this interview, making my phone go crazy. I hope you're not hearing that vibration. But shout out Factory X, all my teammates. You guys are awesome. Josh Fremd MMA on Instagram. Hit me up. Please follow me. I need the followers so I can start making money off Instagram. And September 16th, let's get after it.
100%. Guys, Josh Fremd returns to the UFC Octagon on September 16th. He takes on Roman Kopylov at UFC Noche. You won't want to miss it. Josh, thank you so much for taking the time, and best of luck to you, my man.
Appreciate it, my man. Have a good one.
You too.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.